refresh the stream and see if we have sound. Because we didn't have sound last week. We do have sound, but it's soft again.
How about now?
Yep, you sound good.
Okay.
Oh. Well...
Alexa, set timer for 12 minutes.
I'm going to have to work on this during the week.
I just stepped away from the mic for a sec.
No, it's not you. It's the Twitch audio is very soft again, and I don't know what the problem is. Yeah, I have the slightest idea what the problem is. Hey, my bandwidth is dropping to almost nothing, too. How about that? That hasn't happened in a few weeks.
Well, that's because you're having me on.
All right. Let's do it. Dementia Radio now and recording in 3, 2.
Recorded live on DementiaRadio.org, it's the Funny Music Podcast. Brought to you by FuMP.com, where you can download new free comedy songs twice a week. Now, here's your hosts, Devo Spice and the great Luke Ski.
Are you not hearing the music?
I'm not hearing the music.
God damn it. Maybe there is something going on. All right. So OBS is going through there. It's going through there. Let me play it again.
Did you order something on Temu recently?
I did not, no. All right, I'm playing the music again. Turn that block off. Turn that block
.org. It's the Funny Music Podcast.
Are you hearing it now?
Hearing it.
Brought to you by FuMP.com.
Oh, wait.
Where you can download new free comedy songs twice a week. Now, here's your host.
I forgot to change my Zoom.
Okay,
now I can hear it.
And the great Luke Ski.
All right.
Hey, it's this show now. Stuff and happening.
Yeah, sorry, I had my Zoom settings changed and I forgot. But the audio on Twitch is still messed up, and I don't know why. So I'm gonna have to work on that during the week. And my apologies to the people in Twitch who are live right now, all 4 of you. It's going to be very soft, so just crank up your headphones is all I can say for the meantime. Welcome to episode 726 of the Funny Music Podcast for Thursday, May 16th. Today is my mother's birthday, so happy birthday, Mom. Title of this week's episode is Unused Shine, and I just put that in the chat. And your job is to figure out how to work that into our conversations somehow.
Unused shine.
Yeah. I just go to a random word generator and pick something. That's really all there is to it. And Wildcard subscribed. Thank you, Wildcard. That's 41 months in a row. All right. Let's do the catch-up thing. Oh, actually, we didn't introduce John. Hi, John. We have John Trentes on the show with us. Hi, John.
Hey, Devo.
It's like, God, I start the show late because my son has a concert and I forget how to do the whole show. It's funny how that works. I never heard back from Jefferson DeLeone, so he probably will not be joining us, but I did send him the invite link, so maybe. All right, let's do the catch-up thingy.
Let's get caught up with what Devo and Luke have been up to since last week. Or else Devo, if Luke failed and didn't show up.
Hey, what?
Oh, he's right.
So, Luke, what you been up to?
I have a headache. It's like I woke up today with a headache, and I don't know why. I tried to make it go away by doing more sleep, and it didn't help. So now I'm drinking water, and I'm making myself dinner. So, anyway, what have I done since last week? I mean, I went to a dermatologist. I've been trying to like get a bunch of like take care of a lot of health related things just because you know I'm trying to be more responsible and stuff like that, and Well, part of it is just because trying to get any appointment set up with, Medi-Cal, through LA Care or whatever it's called, is just like such a pain. And anyway, it's just a hassle. So I've been like, getting new medications and, setting up even more follow-up appointments and all this other stuff. And it's, basically it's, a lot of it's just, a big mental, grinding me down kind of thing, but I'm just trying to do my best to continue to live. In happier news, Kalani came out to hang out with me on one of my days off, and we went to see a couple of movies. One is The Fall Guy with Ryan Reynolds and Emily Blunt, and that movie was great. I highly recommend it. Yeah. And then the other one we saw was Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire, and that was a lot of fun too. So, not too much else exciting has happened in the past week. So that's it for me. What have you been up to since last week?
Well, Sunday we went to my in-laws for Mother's Day. Not much to report there. Friday I watched the new Doctor Who episodes and thoroughly enjoyed those. Are you caught up?
Yes. Oh my! And I did just with my phone because I wanted Chris Mazzalesta to see it. I filmed the episode 3. This isn't like a big spoiler or anything because it's like in all the previews.
Yeah, it's been all over the internet. Yeah.
Yeah. So the Doctor and Ruby. Ruby says she wants to watch the Beatles record their first album. So they go to 1963 and they go watch the Beatles, in EMI Studios, doing a take on one of the songs from their first album. So I filmed that scene and sent it to Chris Mazzalesta
with that song.
Because I wanted because I wanted Chris Mazzalesta to see that scene and hear that song, and then the one that follows it, in the next studio over with Scylla, what's her name?
Yeah.
Just because it's like that. I just thought that was entirely brilliant how they pulled that off.
That the song the Beatles sing is really funny, and I wanted to play it on Manic Mondays last week, and they haven't posted that clip online yet, so I didn't have a place to grab it from. I didn't want to rip it off of Disney Plus. So maybe this week I'll get to play that. But I thought Maestro was great, and I loved the beginning when they're sitting at the piano and looking at the camera and just starts going dun 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 on the piano, and then they cut to the intro. I was like, oh, that's so good.
Yeah, it's like Jinx Monsoon as Maestro is like the best villain I've seen in any medium for like a decade or so. Like, just dang, that was awesome. So
that was a fun episode. So the big news in my life is that I have been signed to a New York City talent agency. Woo! So, if you remember a couple of weeks ago, our friend Insane Ian was on and mentioned that the agency that he signed with, Dream Talent. Crap, I just blanked on the name. It'll come to me. That they just recently opened a New York City office. Dream Team Talent. I don't know why I blanked on that. But they just opened an office in New York City. So he got me the contact info, and I submitted my stuff to them, and then they got back to me asking for a self-tape of a commercial and a scene from a movie. And so I did that and submitted it, and they sent me a contract. So I am now officially represented by a SAG-AFTRA, talent agency. So they're going to start submitting me, if they haven't already, they probably already started, to like real projects with budgets and things like that. Because like all the real projects that you see on Netflix and in the movie theaters and stuff like that, like unless you have an agent, you can't submit to them. You can't just, say, hey, I want to be on the new Star Trek film and submit yourself to it. You can't. You have to have an agent because only agents are allowed to submit. So this was like a huge barrier that I've been like trying to break through, and this week I finally broke through it. I'm so freaking excited. And now I'm just like, continuously watching my emails going, did I get an audition yet? Did I get an audition yet? Did I get an audition yet? So I'm excited.
Awesome.
John, what have you been up to?
Well, let's see. Last week I had a colonoscopy.
Nice. Those are fun.
Well, actually they're not, but they're only once every 5 years, so you want to, experience it.
So, your bowel prep, was it Plenview by any chance?
No, I think my missus had to take that, and her appointment was in the morning, and they say do the second dose at least 4 hours before the appointment.
Yeah.
So that means getting up at like 2 a.m. to drink this god awful stuff.
Yeah.
Which makes
projectile vomiting.
Well, she was okay. We won't go into too many gory details, but it's not pleasant.
No, the funny thing about Plenview is the place where I used to work. I programmed their website, including the dosing calculator for Plenview, and I had a colonoscopy last year, and when I was at the doctor, the nurse was there, and she's telling me about the prep I have to take, and she hands me a printout of the dosing page of Plenview.com, and I was like, I'm looking at this. I'm like, this is familiar. I'm like, why are you giving me? I'm like, oh, I'm actually using this now. Okay.
Yeah. Well, just a practice tip. Next time, ask for Suprep.
Suprep. Okay.
It goes down a lot more smoothly.
Yeah, because I've only done it the one time, and I've heard Plenview is one of the more pleasant of the preps, and it was not pleasant at all.
It's not pleasant. You should try the others.
All right, so I'll try.
Actually,
this
is like my third go around for it, and the first 2 times the anesthetist was behind me, and so all I knew was I could tell they were administering the anesthesia because you start to feel the effects. This time, the anesthetist was standing right in front of me, and I was watching her push the plunger down, and that relative to how the effects of the anesthesia. And I thought, I wonder if I can, fight this and stay awake. And I thought, why the hell would I want to do that? So it's like, night.
Yeah. You wouldn't be able to fight it for very long, I don't think.
No. It pretty much puts you out like a baseball bat to the head, without the pain,
Yeah.
But let's see, what else am I doing? Oh, I'm working on a new project. I'm going to be doing comedy bits. I'm starting to do stand-up. This is something I haven't done previously, but I'm starting to do it. I'm having a lot of fun with it, and it seems to be going okay. I'm going to start doing reels, like for Facebook and TikTok, of me doing stand-up, but it's going to be stylized a little bit. I'm going to do it like I've kind of been getting into reviewing and experiencing, comedy from the golden age in the mid 60s, and I'm going to produce it kind of like I'm being introduced on a club, sometime around that time period. I'm going to use filters on the video production to make it look like an old TV broadcast in black and white, and filter the audio a little bit so that it creates the illusion, but do modern stand-up in this context. I mean, I'm even got a vintage microphone, and go out with like a black suit and a skinny tie and hair in a 60s style, but do more modern material, just to be an anachronism, and see how that plays. But do like little 1-minute segments and put them up on Facebook and so on. It's going to be JT at the Last Chance Comedy Club.
Nice. Okay. I'm gonna have to put this back because I'm messing with the audio, trying to fix the Twitch problem while you guys are talking, and I'm just making it worse. I did manage to make it loud, but now there's echo, so I'm just gonna put it back and deal with it during the week when I'm not trying to do a show. So you posted a song. Give us a quick intro, and we will give it a listen.
Well, the name of the song is $5 Flip Flops. I wrote this with my wife, Erin, and Barbara Doris, who is the late former spouse of Steve Goody. And we wrote this actually a while ago, and then I did a demo, which I was never really very happy with, and I just recently reproduced it, and that's what you're about to hear. And it's an interesting tune because, well, you know, when I finish stuff, I usually share it with the family over the internet. I'll email it to them. Mm-hmm. And in this particular case, I sent it to my sister-in-law, who happened to be acquainted with Darius Rucker. Actually, Darius Rucker's wife. They worked together on some kind of a charity project, and they became friends. So I send my sister-in-law this song, and unbeknownst to me, she shares it with Mrs. Rucker, who liked the song, and so she's playing it in her kitchen one day, and Darius and her kids are dancing around to it, and apparently Darius walked into the kitchen and said, "Beth, how come our kids are dancing to an Old Navy commercial?" So that was the nicest, most amusing no I've gotten since I moved to Nashville. But at any rate, I'm pleased with how this turned out. I hope you guys like it too. And with that, you can give it a spin.
All right, here is $5 Flip Flops by John Trentes.
Your high heels ain't no big deal to me, honey. I ain't impressed with your fancy dress, 'cause it cost a lot of money. It don't have to be shiny and new for it to look good on you. I love your $5 flip-flops and your $2 tank tops. You look like a dream in $10 jeans from that little old secondhand shop. You don't have to spend a fortune to make me drop by real soon. I want to shout it from the rooftops. I love your $5 flip-flops. The day that Eve first wore a leaf, the fun began. It ain't the price of what you wear that matters to your man. You look just as hot to me when you buy one, get one free. I love your $5 flip-flops and your $2 tank tops. You look like a dream in $10 jeans from that little old secondhand shop. You don't have to spend a fortune to make me drop by real soon. I want to shout it from the rooftops. I love your $5 flip-flops. You don't spend money on smoking. You never spend money on drinking. The money you save, baby, I'm amazed at the stuff you can buy with an Abraham Lincoln. I love your $5 flip-flops and your $2 tank tops. You look like a dream in $10 jeans from that little old secondhand shop. You don't have to spend a fortune to make me drop by real soon. I want to shout it from the rooftops. You don't need no Birkenstocks. Come on, girl, wiggle out of them socks. I love your $5 flip-flops.
Very nice.
Oh, thank you.
It does have kind of an Old Navy ad vibe to it, and that's not a bad thing.
Well, I'd pitch it to him, but I need an agent.
Yeah. Can't help you there. They only do film and TV and theater if you do live theater, but not jingles. So what inspired this song?
Actually, I think we just sat down and, everybody brings little snippets that they've thought of, and I think one of us threw out $5 flip-flops, and we liked the alliteration and the rhythm and the feel of it, and we just kind of wrote the song from there.
So you wrote this a little while ago.
Yeah, it was quite a while ago, actually. I've played it a number of times at Writers' Night at the Bluebird Cafe.
Oh, cool.
And, it's one of those things where I just, I sat down and says, I feel like recording something, but I don't have anything new written. So I kind of went through my back catalog and said, what do I have that I like the song, but not the recording? And this was probably the top of the list. So, I originally had hired some guy to come out and sing it, and it was, one of the problems with being in Nashville is everybody wants to sound country, and that's not really the feel for this song.
Yeah.
So it kind of sounded like Buck Owens singing this tune, and I thought, this doesn't really work. So
how did it go over at the Bluebird?
Started from scratch. Oh, they like it. They like it. I think I found that if you play something and enough time goes by and you play it again, they think it's new. So it worked out.
That doesn't always work because sometimes the jokes get dated.
Well, that's true.
You have a new song that's comparing Reagan and Gorbachev. But yeah, it's a very cool song.
Oh, thank you. I recently got a jingle picked up by National Public Radio.
Oh, cool.
This was kind of a cool story. My wife was actually listening to it, and they did this story about a website where you go on and you put the VIN number of your car in a search box, and then it comes back and tells you all the recall notices. Mm-hmm. And which is, kind of a run-of-the-mill NPR kind of a story. But at the very end, the commentator said, "We need a jingle for this. Feel free to send us a jingle." And she emails this to me, and I look at that and think, what the heck would I come up with for that? Well, the problem is, anytime I say that, the subconscious starts to grind and squirm and come up with things. And next thing I know, I'm writing a jingle for this website. So I put it together one Sunday afternoon, searched all over the web for the commentator's contact information, sent it to her from like 4 different sources, and she finally got back to me and said, "This is great, we're going to use it, but it's not going to be until the time changes in November." Which struck me as, that's kind of typical for showbiz. You do something and then sometimes years go by before it, gets exploited. But also, November, we're going to know if the world's going to end or not.
Yeah.
Then.
You just reminded me, I completely forgot, but Bush's Baked Beans was having a song contest that I was going to enter, and it just completely slipped my mind. And unfortunately, it's over now. So
darn it.
Oh, well.
I wish I'd have known about that.
I don't remember how I heard about it. I think I saw somebody do a song, and there was the hashtag. I think the hashtag was the musical fruit was the name of the contest. And
let's see, get out the sampler and find some fart samples.
Yep. Wouldn't put it past me. That's where my brain went. But yeah, oh well, next time. So what else is going on with you?
Well, like I was talking to you before we went live, I'm doing and I'm going to continue doing funny music and working with that. I started lately to get into doing some stand-up comedy, and much to my surprise and shock, it seems to be working out pretty good. I mean, it's weird, when you're doing something that you're suited for. It's like swimming downstream. Momentum just kind of gathers behind you, and it just seems to accumulate, and more opportunities seem to open up. And when you're doing the wrong thing, it's like swimming upstream, and you wind up getting hit in the face with a fish. Mm-hmm. And weirdly, I'll sit down and I have an interesting way of working for developing stand-up. I found out that there's this command in Microsoft Word where you can open up a little microphone and you talk, and it paints, it does interprets your speech and prints it to the page. And I found that when I speak what I'm thinking, it flows a lot more naturally than if I'm sitting at a keyboard trying to type it out, and I can't really keep up with what I'm thinking. Whereas I can, BS all day verbally and watch it just appear on the page, and then I can go in later and edit out the stuff that didn't work. And I'm finding that's a much more productive way of developing the material. You guys want to hear a little bit?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, there's this new product on the market. It's called Pretty Litter. Now, it's litter, for cats. And if you're a cat owner, you know that there's basically nothing pretty whatsoever about cat litter, but this stuff's actually not too bad. It doesn't look like cat litter. It's like this white crystalline substance, kind of similar to rock salt, but finer. And it's got this chemical in it that when your cat urinates in it, it turns different colors depending on the health status of your feline. For instance, if it turns yellow, then it means that maybe there's some kidney problems. If it turns red, maybe there's a kidney infection. If it turns green, your cat is operating at optimum cat levels. And I'm sitting there marveling at how brilliant this is. And then a thought hit me like a fuel-injected Subaru. I just recently had a bunch of medical tests done, and it was pretty expensive. I'm thinking, I wonder. So I'm standing in the kitchen peeing in the cat box. And the cat walks in. And let's just say he was traumatized. He's like, "Dad, what the hell?" Well, we're taking him to therapy now. He's making progress, and that's the good news. The bad news, I might have distemper. And unfortunately, I tested positive for catnip. And I have no idea how that happened. I swear I'm not a niphead. Nearest I can figure is I recently went to a performance of Cats, and the people next to me in the audience were playing with it. Oh, and by the way, I'm way overdue to get neutered. Thank you.
Excellent. Very nice. Are there a lot of clubs by you that you can perform at?
Well, Nashville has a couple. A lot fewer than there are places to go play, your own original songs.
Yeah.
But there are a few. Steve Goody came out with me on my maiden voyage and did a little stand-up as well.
Cool.
And we had a good time. It was at a CBD store that has an open comedy mic on Friday nights. So it was a rather easy audience to impress because everybody's basically.
I was going to say if the whole audience is stoned, they're just going to be laughing regardless,
Right, it's you can just kind of say anything and they laugh at it, Well, I heard a ship smashed into a bridge in Baltimore. But they had good snacks, I'll tell you that.
Nice. No, that's cool. Well, best of luck with the stand-up. Do you have anything you'd like to plug?
Anything I'd like to plug? I probably do, but I'm blanking.
Trentes.com.
Oh, yeah. You can go listen to some of my music at www.trentes.com. It's Trentes, like Trent with an ES on the end, .com. And I've got a little player there, and you can listen to about 7 or 8 of my tunes, including Flip Flops if you want to hear it again.
Excellent. All right, cool. All right, so we're going to move on to news and the second song and stuff. Are you going to stick around or are you taking off?
I think I'll stick around.
All righty. Let's do some news.
This is the FuMP.
Ultra-Gator, legend of the South. Ultra-Gator, sharp fangs in his mouth. Ultra-Gator's crazy piercing call. Ultra-Gator, he could destroy us all. Can help you, this dude's insane. Just down the cup of iocane, I can't explain. It's inconceivable.
Use some mixer in my booze. They keep on giving me a little 7-Up.
That's the Funny Music Project at thefump.com. THEFUMP.com.
Tip me over and my change falls out. My spout is connected to all of my pockets, my articulations, and all of my sockets. Hey there, Mr. Macchiato Face. You got a coffee mouth and you're a big disgrace. I grind up the beans.
Time for funny music news. Something, something, something.
In the news, Richard Cheese is hoping to re-release the very first Richard Cheese album, Lounge Against the Machine, on compact disc and purple vinyl. He is accepting pre-orders, and they need to sell 500 pre-orders before they can go to manufacture. So if you would like a copy, you can pre-order the album at richardcheese.com/LATM for Lounge Against the Machine. richardcheese.com/LATM. 2D6 has released an EP of cover songs. Saker says, I wanted to quietly release the covers album to you being the Kickstarter backers, but it's a whole gosh damn process to release an album to select groups. So heck it, we've dropped 4 covers, our stretch goal album of 4 silly cover songs to you today. Now it's live. You can go to 2d6music.bandcamp.com to pick up a copy. It features 4 songs. They are Two Banditos by the Lonely Island, Party Time by the Northern Boys, Clint Eastwood by the Gorillaz, and Hip Hop from the Incredible Machine. So check that out. The FuMP 104 is just about done. I'm in the process of stuffing CDs. I was hoping to have them done in time for the show tonight. Didn't happen, mostly because of the concert. But they will go out either tomorrow or Saturday, and then I'll get them up in the store. That's all the news I got. Luke, you got anything before tour dates? Guess not. You got anything before tour dates?
Nope.
All right. Tour dates on Sundays in Nashville, Tennessee. Steve Goody hosting at the Bluebird. On Sundays online, 2 Sleeps. Mondays online, Steve Goody and Brad Tassel at virtualcomedyshow.com. Tuesdays online, Bill Larkin. On the 24th in Buffalo, New York, Worm Quartet. And on the 26th online on YouTube, Escape from the Secret Lab featuring the Consortium of Genius. And birthdays coming up on the 19th. TV's Kyle. Happy birthday, Kyle. Woohoo! That also happens to be my oldest child, Connor's birthday. He's turning 20. 20! No. All right. Here is the second song of the week, the latest by Jefferson DeLeone. If you don't recognize that name, he's the artist formerly known as Powered by Satan. Here is Nikolas Papadopoulas, Will Have Sex With You.
Hey, Robbie, yesterday when I was on stage, I made a joke about Lithuanian postal workers, and somebody started shouting, not all Lithuanian postal workers.
Yeah, I made a joke about Amish electricians, and man, did I catch hell on social media.
You know, since everybody is so touchy these days, why don't we just go with it? Let's spin the wheel of easily offended demographics and write a song.
Boy, that's a big wheel. Let me give it a try. Okay, sexually unattractive people.
All right, now I'll give it a spin. Greek souvlaki chefs.
Let's give this a shot.
Let's give this a shot. Your butt might shake like Jell-O, and you might snort when you laugh.
You might have an outie navel and a neck like a giraffe.
You might be shaped like a mango or a turnip or a gourd. But I know a man who will give you love and you'll never be ignored. Nikolas Papadopoulas will have sex with you.
You'll be impressed what his Greek column can do.
He'll spread yogurt sauce on your Giro and you'll say, Nikolas Papadopoulas, you're my hero. He
may even made a bazooki for you.
You might drool when you're sleeping and have a nose just like a beak.
You might have a stutter and a lisp, and you might spray when you speak.
You might wear socks with sandals, but
Nikolas doesn't mind.
If you don't look good from the front, he will take you from behind. Nikolas Papadopoulas will have sex with you.
His brother Philippus might
get it on it too. They'll stuff you like a grape leaf.
They'll fluff you with their Hanes briefs.
They may even make a sandwich for you. You might have a huge overbite and you might have eggplant breasts.
You might be of a gender that there is no word for yet.
You might have toenail fungus or be
hairy everywhere.
You might have a mole on the tip of your nose that has
3 little hairs. But
Nikolas Papadopoulas will have sex with you.
Might roll you in phyllo dough too.
He'll lift up his fustanella
and introduce you to his little fella.
He may even play the bazooki for you. Play that bazooki, Nick. Nikolas Papadopoulas will have sex with you.
He likes girls, but he likes guys too.
He's short and fat and hairy, but he's descendant from Zeus and Ares. He may even do the Zorba dance for you. Opa!
That is like at least the second song that has and features a bouzouki. I thought Bad Beth was the only one who played bouzouki. But he says in his description, this is a flagrantly Monty Python-inspired piece. Any idea what Monty Python piece would have inspired that? Because I'm not like a huge Monty Python nerd, so I haven't memorized everything.
The Cheese Shop sketch has a bouzouki player that's like in the background that like they mention at the beginning of the sketch, and then later on when John Cleese gets all frustrated, he yells, "Shut that bloody bouzouki up!"
Oh, that's right. Yeah, okay.
Hey guys, fun fact. I'm Greek.
All right.
And I won't necessarily have sex with you, just so you know.
Okay, good to know.
See, the name Papadopoulos is stuck in my head because that was the name of the last name of the dad on the sitcom Webster when I was a kid. You know, with Emmanuel Lewis. It was George Papadopoulos.
Yeah, I vaguely remember that. Yes,
and it's like, you know, I heard this name, you know, later on in life, and I just thought it was weird that name was like a real name and not just a weird onomatopoeia-sounding made-up name for a sitcom.
All right, let's do feedback.
Making the internet absolutely ridiculous. Dementia Radio.
www.dementiaradio.org. Port 8027.
Please hang up and try again.
This is the part where there's feedback. 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 You know that segment of the show we do about now? Feedback. Feedback. Feedback.
Feedback. Alvarant wrote, question for Jefferson and Robbie. Who do you think are the most privileged yet easily offended group? And I'm sorry they're not here to answer that question, but perhaps I can forward that to them and see if I can get a response. And...
Draconis alert. Draconis alert. Draconis alert.
Draconis wrote, there's a Doctor Who con in New York you might enjoy, and then he links to longislanddoctorwho.com. Yes, I am very familiar with this convention. I was a guest there 6 or 7 years ago, I think. I've been back a couple of times. That's where I met Wendy Padbury, who played Zoe on Doctor Who. And I'm hoping to make it back again this year. Not as a performer, just as an attendee. But that's kind of going to depend on if I have money and a job. So, yeah. All right. YouTube comments. A-Log!
Oh my god, it's you, not again!
A-Log wrote, kudos to Toby Danger for creating a song as demented as Jean-Claude Transam. I do have at least one question about that. If he does turn into a car, would his acting skills improve? I like to think they would. You know? All he has to do is act like a car. And Dizman of Dead by 28 wrote, "Aw man, I totally forgot about Turbo Teen." All right, that's all the feedback we got.
Teasing. He's a teasing kind of guy. Now you have a job.
Yeah.
Teasing. Tomorrow's song is by Steve Goody, who we've mentioned several times in this episode. And Tuesday's song is by Dead by 28. All right, playlist topics. You know what? I think I'm going to do Doctor Who because there's new episodes playing now, and I'm excited. So I'm going to do Doctor Who. I don't know if I've done that in the past or not. And I promise it won't all be my songs.
Are you going to do songs for 13 and 14?
I am, yes. My 13th title is tentatively What the Flux. And I'm debating whether or not I should do 14. I don't know if whether I should bother. So, all right. You all right
I'd
there?
like to apologize to everybody just because I have such a headache and I'm usually a much brighter, happier personality on the show. So next week I'll have to bring all of my unused shine from this week.
Thank you.
Here in Tennessee, unused shine means that you joined AA.
Nice. All right, Jefferson DeLeone is at jeffersondeleone.com. John, plug yourself one more time.
You can hear some of my stuff and read about me at www.trentes.com. That's www.trentes.com.
Is Trentes a Greek name?
It is, but it's spelled wrong.
Oh, okay.
I know this because I actually went on the Ellis Island manifest website where you can search, where your family came over.
Yeah.
And it was actually supposed to be spelled Trentis, but somebody had terrible handwriting at Ellis Island, so we've been living with ES since probably about 1901.
Yeah. My cousin's last name is Kernan, and he's done... we're very Irish, as you probably can tell. And he's gotten big into family tree stuff. He found out that the name used to be Kiernan. It was like Kiernan or something like that, and it somehow got bastardized into Kernan, Curnan, like as they went through Ellis Island. So things happen. All right, let's get out of here. Thank you for listening to the Funny Music Podcast. I'm Devo Spice.
I'm Luke Ski, and look, there's John Trentes.
Here I am.
Thank you for listening to the Funny Music Podcast. You can listen live every Thursday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific at DementiaRadio.org and join us in the chat. Or subscribe to the podcast feed. Look us up on iTunes and be sure to leave us a review. Feedback for the show can be sent to info@thefump.com. The Funny Music Podcast is a production of Fidem Interactive, LLC, released under a Creative Commons share-alike license. Tell your friends, tell your enemies, shout it to random people on the street, and be sure to visit thefump.com for the latest funny songs. Tune in next week where you'll hear Luke Ski say,
I have a headache, ah!